Greetings, everybody out there in the internet spaces. This is Dan from North Node Astrology, and I have Wind of Regeneration here with me.
Hello.
We're gonna talk a little bit about the upcoming full moon in Aries. I'm gonna give a little bit of my breakdown, and my friend Amy is gonna give her intuition on that and throw some cards at the end and help us all get a little more guidance about how this is going to go in this post eclipse season here. So this is the first full moon after the eclipse, after several eclipses. We've had, quite a bit of shakeup. The last one was on the 2nd of October. This full moon is happening on the 17th, right after Jupiter is currently retrograde, adjustment retrograde. Today's the 13th, working through that space. So the full moon, you can see here in the chart, is going to be at 24 degrees of Aries, and that means that Sun is at 24 degrees of Libra. Anywhere the Sun is going to give us, pull our soul essence into that sign, right? So we're thinking about fairness and relationships and balance and justice and anything that requires balancing, right? I've noticed that a lot of people have been off balance with their driving. I think you guys may have seen that, but that's probably more Mercury and Pluto square stuff. And there's lots of probably other astrologers that talk about that. But this is going to be about the full moon. The Tibetans talk about a dark moon, the period 30 degrees before, or the several days before the full moon. And that's going to start in Pisces because, like I said, our full moon is going to be in Aries. And in that time period, the moon is going to move across Saturn, that is still going to be retrograde. He comes direct pretty soon, actually in the middle of November. So we got just a little bit of more Saturn retrograde. So the moon is going to calm down. It's going to anchor down just a little bit with Saturn, but he's close to stopped. So he's not going to pull things down too hard. So there might be a little bit of like an emotional solidification on Monday. And then as the moon moves into Neptune, we might, as I had a little bit of a pre-talk with Amy, we might be inclined to just kind of let loose a little bit, like we might want to let go. And I told her, it's like, if you feel like you got to cry about something, just do it. Just have the release and just be done with it. Let something go that you've been trying to take care of, but it might be too much, right? You have to ask yourself, where are my values at in Pisces? But with the sign, with the planet Venus at the end of Scorpio, right, that is exalted in Pisces, we've learned a lot about values in the last month or so, and about how to make ourself feel better, right? It's much more been about self-soothing than anything else. So there's going to be a little bit of that, like, where do I let go? Like, what do I need to let go of? Right. And this might be things about your general life, because within this chart, the moon in Pisces is in the 5th house. So you might be wanting to have some fun and it just might not be there. You might be wanting to just live your life and create something, but you may not think you have the emotional tools to do it, right? But those tools come from the depth of your partnerships with other people, right? Or the depth of your trust with yourself. So how deep can you go, right? Then the moon's going to move into Aries. It's going to drastically shift that energy, and then it's going to move across the North Node in the same day. So it's going to be in the afternoon, or actually in the morning. So by the time we get up on Tuesday morning, before that before the full moon, early in the morning Thursday, we're going to be drawn into action. We're like, okay, we got to get in there. We got to get this done. But with Mars and Cancer, it's much more of a caretaking space. It is like, what do we need to take care of this situation, right? Instead of allowing ourselves to get drug into stuff, because the Cancer Aries the aspect there is, think of a mother with a newborn that's still screaming and kind of covered in blood. It's a little bit visceral, but I think you guys can handle that, right? We are taking care of things, but they're simple things. There's not many things to take care of. There's lots of things going on, but something new that happens you know what the progress is. You're like, oh, well, I know what the emotional space here is. I've already done this, right? And it's a very much a methodical thing with where that full moon chart is. It's in the sixth house. It's our daily work, right? And Aries and Virgo have a harmonic about daily work, getting stuff done, right? Aries people, they're like, hey, let's go get this done. And they're like that every day, right? That's kind of how we see them. They're always, let's get this done. Then right before the moon's going to move across Chiron. That's not going to be quite so fun. That's going to be more of the, didn't I already start? I thought I already started this. I started that. Why do I have to take care of this again? Well, you did start it, but you might have to, like, if you're cooking a casserole in your oven and you know one side of your oven doesn't quite cook as hot as the other side, it gets everything done, but you have to set the timer for half of it, and then you have to spin it around so that it cooks evenly on both sides. I think that's what the moon going over Chiron is going to feel like. It's like you have to re-engage with it, and it's something that does need to be taken care of, right? And it might be, might be all on your face. You might be like, I can't believe I have to do this, but it's necessary to be taken care of. This is new energy that we are moving into. Now, with Pluto at the end of Capricorn, and he is actually direct now. So he is stopped. He's about to start moving forward. He's in the sun is moving into square, and the moon is also moving in square with this. So as they rotate through, the Pluto's in the middle of a lot of stuff right now. And Pluto at the end of Capricorn is very powerful, right? It's it's not ever going back. Like unless you live 240 years, you're not going to get back here, right? So use this moment, the sun and the moon, and these other cardinal signs of Libra and Aries to help us do this. And Mars in opposition in Cancer is definitely trying to start something new. We are starting new, but there's, like I said, the moon in Pisces just before this was the releasing, and that's what those dark moon phases, or those phases before the full moon, are about. It's about letting go, and then the full moon is up. Here we are, new again, right? So, Amy, can you throw some cards for us and let us know about this general reading, because we're going to do a masculine reading, a reading for the masculines out there, and then we're going to do a reading for the feminines all out there also. But for this general reading, can you tell us what intuition and what spirit is telling you about this?
Yeah, so I'm basically picking up on there's a perfect balance between taking action and not taking action. Like I think on the full moon, depending on your chart, certain people should take action and some people shouldn't. And the people that don't take action will have like a lot of transformation within. And the people who do take action and who are meant to take action will be seen for it and validated for it as well. That's what I'm picking up on with
Oh,
that.
that's cool.
Yeah, and I'm also picking up on to be careful with the people who are taking action and the certain people who may not be taking action. It just depends on, we're always trying to get closer to better energies and further away from bad energies. Not to say that anything's bad or good,
Hmm.
but you know how things make you feel. So, with that being said, I do think that it's easily able to be manifesting something that you already closed out a cycle with certain energies like people that will easily lie to you and not tell you the truth. And I do think that the social skills at this time is important.
Hmm.
Um, and with the 24 degrees, this is all for the general reading. With the 24 degrees, I think it's representing a lot to do with starting new beginnings and passion for new beginnings and adventure.
Super. Okay, cool. Thank you, Amy. On the lying stuff, Mercury in Scorpio is square Pluto in Capricorn. Now, Mercury is moving out of that square, so there's probably less of that. But you guys have seen who's lying to you. You know what's you know what's up. And if you haven't exactly, I think this by the full moon, you will definitely see where that is going to.
Well, maybe it's just saying that if you don't trust what you already know about people, you will be repeating cycles.
There you go. Yeah. And any lesson you don't learn is definitely going to get wrapped up into the next thing. So it's, yeah, for sure. Thank you. All right. Here we are. on the masculine chart. This is centered on Aries. And it doesn't matter, you know, how you identify in the rest of your life. This is, you know, the masculine part of you. This is what the masculine part of you is going to be doing. So with Mars and Cancer, that's about the home, right? That's about where you feel emotionally anchored, where you get your nurturing from, and how you seek that nurturing. And if there's, you know, like if there's a if there's an emotional damaged baby inside of you, like there is for most people, I don't think you might push it a little too far. You might, because they're with the Aries Libra axis. Aries are very direct. Anybody know anybody with any Aries placements? You know how direct they are, how strong, and how headstrong they are. Libras are low key like that too, and they will go to war with you over seemingly simple things, right? And they don't care about being looking like a baby. Now, an Aries doesn't. They want to look strong. You know, like masculines want to look strong. They want to look stable. If you do not feel balanced in yourself, if the relationship that you're in is not balanced, or if you've been drinking too much coffee, you might want to steer away from masculines out there. You might want to steer away from stimulants. You know, so anything that's going to stimulate you, you know, during this, maybe only have, like, if you have 3 cups of coffee, maybe only two, maybe only one. You know, have a cup of tea instead of coffee. Don't drink that. Don't drink 4 Bang energy drinks throughout the day. Try 3, and I guarantee you'll feel more level and more balanced with that. And then you might not feel so. You're going to feel tired anyway. You know, it's been a lot of everybody's been talking about tired. That's really where the masculine energy is being drawn down, because Mars is not in a great spot. He wants to be in Capricorn, right? He wants to be where Pluto is. The moon doesn't want to be in Aries. The sun is not in a great spot in Libra, right? So a lot of the planets are not in great spots. Jupiter's retrograde and he's in Gemini. Uranus is in his opposite exalted sign of Scorpio. He's in Taurus and he's retrograde. So Saturn's in Pisces, he's retrograde. So it's like we're looking for this energy, but we need to nurture ourselves, right? You need to be able to, and the moon in Aries is telling me you need to nurture yourself. What are you doing to keep yourself moving forward, right? Do you have what it takes to keep rocking and rolling and getting it done? Amy, your thoughts on things for the masculine?
That's actually really interesting. And I know you're going to get to the feminines, but for the masculines, I pulled a very feminine card, which is the High Priestess. And for
Ooh.
the feminines, I pulled a very masculine card, which is the Sun. And for the masculines, it, like you was just saying about how they need to bring it back down a little bit and bring it back to their base chakra because they're
Yeah,
doing too much, and their job here is responsibility. And I'll get to the feminine soon. But masculine energy is here to take care of responsibility, and you plant yourself in solid foundations.
very cool, very good. Yes, exactly. Yep. And most of these energies are in cardinal signs. It's in Aries and Libra and Cancer and Capricorn. I mean, and all of the other energies are subdued. They're all retrograde, right? So that these are going to be much more. So we're starting here. All right. So feminines in here in Taurus. This may be where Amy was talking about not taking action, right? So the action is in for the feminine is in the mind. It's in the emotional mind. It's in the caretaker mind. And at the end of Cancer, that's what you know how to do stuff. You know what needs to be done. Like you're a seasoned mother, right? But she's not a warrior, but she can be direct, right? Somebody that is soft and mothering can tell somebody no. That is Mars at the end of Cancer, telling people no, no, that's not good. That's not nurturing. But you don't have to say it in a hard way. You can just go no. You can be, the feminine can be very hard when even in that softness, right? So getting carried away with your emotions, or being emotionally passive aggressive, right, about your relationships might be the thing that comes up. Ask yourself, are you being fair, right? With the sun in Libra in the 6th house, it are is your fairness growing? Are you creating a world that can be emotionally balanced? Are you creating a fair daily life for yourself? Or are you still in that subconscious, passive aggressive state instead of communicating? So Mars and Cancer can be a very powerful emotional communicator depending on what you do with it, right? Because Mars is at 22 degrees and Neptune is at 27. So that's almost that's a trine right there. That's a helping energy. Venus is at 29 Scorpio. That's another that's the other water sign. So you've got Venus and Neptune and Mars trying to get something done in the emotional space of all the waters, the cardinal and the fixed and the mutable water energy. So what did the feminine learn while Venus was in Scorpio? Like, do you are you manipulating or are you caretaking? Right? Because that's what Scorpio ultimately does. Like with Cancer, it caretakes, it takes care of things. Right? Neptune in Pisces, it's everything. It's encompassing everything, but it's retrograde, so it's pulled back, so it's not everything. And Mars in Cancer is giving you the ability to tune into your intuition and see that balance and fairness and know how to go towards it, make those incremental steps, make those decisions, choose the right thing to do in the moment going forward. So that was the sun card you said, Amy, you pulled for the feminines?
Yes, I pulled the sun card, and that's interesting and so crazy you said that, because you got also the heart chakra for the feminines, which it also says peace on here.
Mm.
And it says, I will be peaceful. And that's what you're saying. You're like bringing peace. And back a little bit back to the masculines, I didn't say this. It's like they're meant to be a little bit more honest with themselves and then be open and honest with other people. But it seems like a self thing, and the feminines are meant to almost kind of put themselves out just a little bit, but as peace. That's what it feels like. They're meant to be the heart chakra. Their heart chakra needs to be glowing.
Okay, very cool. Thank you very much, Amy. I appreciate you doing. You and I have been talking about doing a little bit of something for quite a while, and I'm glad that we can coordinate and get this done.
Me
Uh,
too.
yeah. So that's we just want to kind of give you guys just a little bit of a heads up here, give you a little bit of insight into this full moon that's coming in after all this madness. We all need everybody. Everybody has a little bit that they can put into the pot, right? Sun's in Libra. It's about relationships, right? The moon in Aries, we're starting over, we're starting a new emotional cycle here. Even though things in the past might have
Yep.
been broken and we don't like the way they look, you can start over. This is a perfect time to go, okay, this is where I'm drawing the line. This is where I got to take care of me, or this is what I can take care of. And anything you can't take care of, you have to let go. It might suck, but letting it go, you're like, oh, I feel lighter now. So
Yep. And as you was speaking about that, it was 5:05. Now it's 5:06. But it was 5:05 as you was saying that, and 5 represents change and 0 represents completion. And like you was just saying, I do have the world card out here laid out on my table. So it definitely has a lot to do with completing cycles.
super. Amy, I really appreciate your insight here and your knowledge of angel numbers. Again, I don't hardly know anything about that stuff, and you're always telling me what numbers you're seeing when we're talking about stuff, giving confirmation. So
Yep.
this is she's Wind of Regeneration. You guys should check her channel out. Doing periodic tarot stuff, sometimes a little more steady. And I'm trying to get back here, being steady here is why I'm doing this. And
Yep. But this is going to be steady.
yes, for sure. Yes. Yes.
Yep. So I'm excited, and I look forward to doing this again with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. All right,
Thank you.
everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys later.
All right. Bye.